What's going on, Niner fam? Happy Thanksgiving, happy belated Thanksgiving to everyone. This is gonna be my pregame 49er video. Hope everybody had a really good Thanksgiving. I really enjoyed mine with my having my kids and my wife and over at the in-laws. Hope everybody had a chance to have a good Thanksgiving. But with that being said, let's get into this video. Let's get into these takes. So huge game for the 49ers this weekend. They're 5-5. They're also facing a team in the Vikings that are 5-5. Huge playoff implications. I know that we've got a long way to go to get to the playoffs, but this game really has a lot of implications and a lot of chances for the to really control those tiebreakers. So this is a really must win for the 49ers. The drop off here is huge with a loss for the 49ers as far as the percentages and of them making the playoffs and their seeding goes with the schedule that's left over. So they need this win. This is the time that they absolutely need to get this to put themselves in position to make the playoffs and to maybe even move up in their seeding. So it's also an opportunity for Kyle to galvanize the team and to really build upon the last two games to really establish that identity that they've built in the last two games. They ran the ball 40 times a game the last two games. It's really huge. It would be really huge for them to continue that identity, to it's kind of letting the league know that this is what to expect, and that'll let Kyle build off of that, and it leaves things open for him to try other things on top of the base of what we are at this point, which is we are a running team. We want Jimmy to touch the ball as little as possible. I don't care how you think about Jimmy Garoppolo. We want him to touch the ball as little as possible. So, with that being said, so the offense, can Jimmy get through this game without throwing a pick to Kendricks? That's the first question of the day. Can he get through this game without throwing a pick, and throwing a pick in general? Because I think he's had 3 games now without throwing a pick, and that's one of the issues, has been one of the issues for Jimmy in the past, is he shoots himself in the foot because he stays staring down those receivers, and it's always across the middle, and he gives away where he's going with the ball. He's not good at looking off safeties. He's not good at seeing the bigger picture of the play. So can Jimmy not throw a pick this game? This would be a huge jump for him. Even though we know what Jimmy is, this would still be a huge jump for him if he could somehow get through this game without throwing a pick. But, we'll see. Do the 49ers run the ball 40 times again this game? I tend to think not. I think what's going to end up happening is they're going to run it maybe 30 to 40 times. I think it's going to be a little less than the last couple of games. I don't know why I think that, but I think that they may not have a chance to do that with thinking about the Vikings and the team that they have and the firepower that they have on the other side of the ball. I just don't think that they're going to be allowed to sit there and run the ball 40 times a game. Now, that is one of my keys to this game, is that they have to be able to establish the run and control the clock. And so if they get to 40 runs, then that probably means that they're going to win this game. Period. Because that means they're controlling the clock. That means that they're dominating time of possession. So that's a huge if for the 49ers. If they can control this clock, if they can run the ball the majority of the time, because let's be honest, we really don't want Jimmy throwing the ball as little as possible. Do we see Sermon more in this game? He got 10 carries last game. He had a big catch and run. I would love to see more Sermon so that we can develop. I think that it would take some of the pressure off of Elijah Mitchell. I think as the season kind of gets we're in the middle of the season now, I think that as the season goes on, it's going to be really important to take away some of the wear and tear off of Elijah Mitchell, which is a perfect time for Sermon to come in, and at the very least, he can do as much as Jeff Wilson did. Jeff Wilson's I think he only averaged 3 yards a carry. So Sermon can average 3 yards a carry. If we can get away with 40 carries, and let's get Sermon maybe if we can get, let me correct that, because I want to say that we're going to run the ball maybe 35 times in this next game. If we can get Sermon 15 to 20 carries in this game, that is I think that would be a recipe for success. I think it would give Sermon some confidence going forward, because you need a little bit of that thunder and lightning to wear out the defense and give Elijah Mitchell a chance to really break one, because we all know that Elijah Mitchell's he's explosive, and if he can he's not as fast as Mostert, but if he can get an open gap, he's going to take it, and he's probably going to gash the defense. So let's just hope that we can get Sermon involved, and that Kyle, he's obviously talented. Let's get him involved, Kyle. Period. Let's just get him involved. It just doesn't make any sense to me why we're not getting this kid who has obvious talent involved in this game plan more. I know he got 10 carries. Who cares? I want him more. I want to see more Sermon. So it just gives us an opportunity to create a true running back committee, and it's going to keep our guys from getting worn down, so that we don't have the inevitable running back injuries that we just seem to have every single season since Kyle's been here. Is Debo going to be used more as a wide receiver this game? Last game he only had 1 catch. Before that he was leading the league, not leading the league. He was second in the league in receiving yards, and then we only throw the ball to him once, and we use him primarily as a running back. This goes back to the Sermon point. Now, granted, Debo did awesome, and it's great to have him as a change of pace, but I don't want to see Debo running the ball 7 times in a game. I just don't want to see it. It gives him added opportunity to get injured. I just don't want to see it. As good as he is, he's probably the best running back on the roster. I don't want to see it. You figure it out, Kyle. Figure out another way to get him the ball in space other than running him into defensive linemen. It works. I'm not gonna complain because it works, but I don't want to see it. It was great as a gimmick. I don't think Debo deserves to be treated as a gimmick. So, and also, if they do get Debo the ball more, like passing him the ball more, and Debo gets more catches, does that take away from Ayuk's touches? And it absolutely will. But I don't have a problem with Ayuk getting 5 catches a game, if that means Debo's going to get more catches and opportunity to operate in space. So, does that happen this game? That's what I'm going to be. These are things that I'm going to be looking for to see the growth of Kyle's offense. It's weird to say that because the guy he's got one of the best offensive minds in the league. You can see it on the field. He's getting guys wide open, dialing it up every single week. We just don't always execute. and the execution isn't always there. But he's dialing up these plays, and he's getting people open, and he's getting people the ball in space. Does the team execute to the play and actually succeeds? So, but yeah, that's going to be a huge thing that I'm looking for, is how they split up these targets with Ayuk and Debo, because ideally we only want Jimmy throwing the ball 20-25 times a game at most, and so that doesn't leave a lot of targets for these guys. But it would be a shame for Ayuk not to be targeted with all of the talent that this kid has. He is, I said it last week, he's a number one in my opinion. If given the proper opportunity, he could be a number one wide receiver for us. And it feels weird to say because Debo's so explosive, but I mean the reality is they're two completely different players, and Ayuk could easily be a number one receiver on a lot of teams. So the last part I'm going to talk about the offense is do we take advantage of this Vikings front? And it goes back to about how many carries that we're going to the running backs are going to get. How many run attempts do we give them? Does Kyle attack that defensive front? Because I believe they're missing their two interior guys. And I heard on the Locked On podcast the other day that was on the crossover episode, that the Vikings podcaster was really concerned about that portion, and he has every right to be. Already we're gonna run the ball, but now does he really take advantage of that and just attacks the middle of that defensive line and makes these guys run sideline to sideline? So I'm gonna be really interested to see how we attack that Vikings front. And if Kyle, because my one criticism of Kyle is that he doesn't always take advantage of a team's weakness. He doesn't always key in on players that are subpar, and he doesn't run his game plan around that. He runs his game plan about his scheme. His scheme is his scheme, and it is what it is. It's always going to play. His scheme attacks their scheme, and where it should put their players in conflict, I would love to see him attack the weakness of a team more. So let's see if it happens. It's going to be this would be the game that I would love to see him attack those weaknesses. As far as the defense goes, I would be surprised if the defense doesn't struggle more in this game. The last couple of weeks, even if we run the ball 30 plus times, I would still be surprised to see us not struggle, the defense struggle more in this game. Because I think that obviously we're playing a more bend but don't break defense, and we're kind of trusting that the defensive line gets pressure. But they've got Jefferson and Thielen over there. And don't forget about Conklin. I think he doesn't get enough love when we talk about the game plan for the Vikings. Conklin the tight end has every opportunity to get a part of this game plan. I know that we've got Fred Warner, and Fred Warner he does a really good job against tight ends for the most part, but I would be shocked if he wasn't a part of this game plan. And then of course they've got Dalvin Cook. Do they try to run the ball on us? We did a lot better of a job last week on stuffing the run, but do they try that against us, or do they go right for the jugular? Because our corners, there's no way around it. They're not good. Our corners are not good. So D'Amico Ryans is going to have to scheme it up he's probably going to bracket a lot, and try and keep. He can only roll the coverage to one side. So he's probably gonna. I would think if I was him, I would roll the coverage to Jefferson's side more often than not, because I feel like he's the more explosive of the two, and take your chances with Thielen. It's a lose-lose situation in my opinion, but we're just hoping that the defensive line can put Cousins in conflict and get some pressure on him, get him off of his just get him rattled a little bit. Can those corners defend Jefferson and Thielen? Yeah, I can't. I know that they can't cover him. We know that they can't cover him. That's not even a question. But can they keep them from the big play? And can they make them have to get yards after the catch? Because that's going to be the key. Because I feel like the 49ers are going to try and control the clock, which is going to shorten that time of possession. Can they keep them, hold them enough to dominate on that end? Can they defend the screen game if we're keeping them from getting big plays? If we're keeping them from getting big plays, and we're stuffing the run too. Let's say that we continue to do a good job stuffing the run. We're doing just enough to keep them from getting those big plays. Do you think they try to go to the screen game to try and bust off a big play? Because we all saw in that Arizona game, like, the screen game just destroyed our defense. So look for the screens to start coming, or they might start from the beginning of the game, because Dalvin Cook is great in the screen game, and they're going to want to get him the ball regardless, whether it be running the ball or and if the run doesn't work, they're going to try and get him the ball somehow, some way. So be on the lookout for that. And my last point about the defense is, what is going to be the Greenlaw effect? Because I believe he's going to be active in this game. So what effect is that going to have on the defense? Because Greenlaw, I haven't heard much of this all week from the podcasters. I'm kind of disappointed by it, to be honest. But Alshire is a beast. He's learning on the fly. Yes. Does he make mistakes in coverage sometimes? Yes. But that's Greenlaw's strength, in my opinion, is they're going to have him in on passing downs. And that's what's going to keep Conklin in check, in my opinion, is if they stick Greenlaw on him, because I feel like Greenlaw is better in coverage than Alshire. Also, does anybody think that we're going to see more of a timeshare between Hufanga and Tart? I feel like they want to get Hufanga involved because of, we keep talking about his instincts, but there's really no other word for it. The kid is just at reading the play. He is just next level at reading the play, in my estimation. He makes up for that lack of athleticism with just he has such potential of just reading the plays, seeing what's going to happen, and just taking advantage. So I'd be really surprised if we don't see more of a timeshare between those two. Hufanga really showed what was possible when they got Jimmy Ward back after his injury, and because it gives Hufanga a little bit of leeway to freelance and just follows instincts. So yeah, there's multiple things in this game that I'm really looking forward to seeing. This every week it seems like we're trying to even though we've got an identity, we're still looking for the identity on defense. And with so many young players that they have on defense, in the secondary, and then they have Hufanga, and they've got Lenore. I'd even like to see them mix in Ambry Thomas at some spots. I know he's been roasted and toasted, but I'd like to see him get in there and get some of those reps. You got to get him in there. Got to get him in there. Now, granted, we want to see him towards the end of the game if it's not a close game, but I'd like to see him out there. But I want to see what effect Greenlaw has on if they go right to leaning on him and we see a lot less of Al-Shaair, which would be a shame. Al-Shaair has done an outstanding job. So, I just want to see what the timeshare is on those two. At the end of the day, I got the 49ers winning this game 21-17 for the first time in the last couple of weeks. I think I'm confident. I'm starting to get confident about what we're going to see out there. I know that it's going to be a closer game. They're not going to be holding this team to 10 points. That's just not going to happen. I don't think, in my estimation. So I'd be shocked if they don't at least score 17. But that's about my estimation of this game. I think it's going to be a 21-17 game. I still think the 49ers win. I think they're going to try and control the clock. The key is making Jimmy only throw the ball 20-25 times a game. I think that Cousins is going to struggle in this game. I really think that they are going to not so much dial up the pressure. I think that our defensive line is going to get, because I feel like they've gotten pressure on guys. They just don't get home a lot, but they're getting pressure, and that's the key. I want to see them get pressure up the middle, because that is what is going to kill a quarterback like Cousins, is getting that pressure up the middle. And do we see a lot of Eric Armstead like we saw last game? Like, he was getting a lot of pressure up the middle. And the one thing I want to see from Eric Armstead is I want to see him not fall down when he starts to get through. I want to see him not fall down. He fought way too often. He falls down when he's pursuing the quarterback. So I want to see him get that interior pressure and send him right into the arms of Bosa or Ebukam, either one. So that's what we're looking forward to. I'm looking for the defense to bend. I'm expecting them to give up yards. But I'm expecting them to tighten up in the red zone and keep them to field goals and just keep them out of the end zone. So that's what we're looking at pregame, guys. Please give me a like, give me, I don't think there's a thing to subscribe to yet, but I'll have to check it out. But if there is, subscribe. But easily, please give me a like, give me some comments on the bottom to talk about some stuff that I could do better, things that you want to hear, like when I'm doing these videos. So I've got some other stuffs in the works, like that might be coming in the next couple of weeks. So look forward to, I hope you guys are looking forward to that. But I really enjoy doing these videos. I really enjoy some of the feedback that I've gotten from some people, and yeah, like I'm just doing this for a good time, and I'm doing it to get better. So please give me all the feedback. I can take all the harsh criticism that you can give me. And but yeah, thank you guys. I really appreciate you listening, and go Niners.